everybody want the false at their party.
Yo, welcome to the AMF Show.
Tell everybody want the false at their party.
On Bars and Hoops Radio.
Tell everybody want the false at their party.
Yo, every Thursday night, without a
Tell
doubt,
everybody want the false at their party.
with our special guests, so check us out. Peace, everybody. Welcome to the AMF Show. I'm one of your hosts, Big Ra, one half of the AlmightyForce brothers. I'm here with my man, DJ Tiny, in the building. All right. DJ Tiny, Unorganized Behavior.
That's
DJ
right.
Tiny, the host of the T-shirt 8 and Lot Red Cup Affair.
Yep.
T-shirt 8 and Lot Red Cup Affair, Sunday, 9 to 11. Unorganized Behavior, Tuesday, 8 to 10 on Facebook.
That's right.
LaMarcus Vanderhook
On Bars and Hoops Radio.
on Bars and Who's Radio. All right. Tonight, we got, it's an honor to me, right? We have a special guest in the building. All right. One of the first coaches in the AlmightyForce tournament. One of the original coaches from the AlmightyForce Developmental League. Going early 90s here, people. All right. So introduce yourself, my brother.
God bless everyone. I'm Bishop Michael Waldo. I am the pastor of the Power Prayer Evangelist Ministries, and I'm also the founder of the Abundant Blessings Fellowship of Churches.
Okay. So we're going to get into the story with Mike. All right. Before we do that, just want to say the D League is going to kick off in a couple of weeks. Right, the teams are already formed. The kids will be picking up their uniforms on April 18th. Okay, the traveling team is going to be in PA. Y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. The traveling team is going to be in PA on April 11th, April 12th, coming up real soon, a couple of weeks. All right. So, Mike. Or should I call you Bishop Mike?
You call me Mike. I'm Mike.
All right, Mike. All right. If you could describe yourself in a word, what would the word be and why?
Preacher.
Okay.
And the reason I said that is because I'm spreading the gospel of Christ throughout the world. That's one of the things that as a pastor that I understand. The Bible tells us to go out to the highway and hedges and compel them. And that's what I've been doing. Most of the time you'll find me in areas where a lot of pastors won't go. I'll go into the drug, and I don't have a problem with that, talking to the crackheads, the dope fiends, or how you would say it, to the drug dealers. I've been known to deal with alcoholics and guide them first into rehab, to be able to detox. Because before I can deal with them spiritually, I have to deal with the natural man first. Mm-hmm. So I have to deal with that issue, and then I'm able to work with them and get them to come to Christ that way.
Okay. All right. So, you was there from the beginning, as I did in the intro. Yeah. You were there from the beginning. AlmightyForce Basketball. Yeah. All right. AlmightyForce D League. People get it mixed up with AlmightyForce Brothers, which is me and Shy. They was doing music from the early 80s. So people get it mixed up sometime. AlmightyForce Basketball started in 1991. And this gentleman was there with us in 1991 when we were starting AlmightyForce Basketball. When we were learning the whole process. Shout out to Pete Edwards, who was the person that schooled me on everything to do to start a basketball tournament. Shout out to Tisha Ada Lot. Shout out to Jessica on the check-in.
We see y'all.
All right, we see y'all. All right. But back to this, Pete Edwards, I always give him his credit. A lot of people don't know. And when I stepped off from doing the tournament years later, probably in 2010, 2008, 9, 10, when I stepped off, he was on me the hardest on why I shouldn't have. He was like, work is work. You work for the city, but what you do in the community is you. So going back to Mike here, he was out there every Saturday, every Sunday, right? Morning, I'm talking 8, 9 o'clock. All right. So whatever we did on that Friday or Saturday night, we was out there early on Saturday. So when the kids started pulling up, we were there, had to make sure that everything was set up. We went through the whole process of drafting teams. We formulating teams, doing a draft, putting people on teams. And like I said, this is one of the original coaches from the AlmightyForce Developmental League. All right. So let's talk about what you remember about it. Talk about how what your feedback is on that time period.
Well, during that time period, it was a very important period because you got to remember, this was on the height of the drug era.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of the young people were trying to find out where they fitted in. There was really not much for them to do because really wasn't no program for young blacks at that time. I'm not just talking about black boys, I'm talking about the girls also. But along came a program in 1991, AlmightyForce tournament came. And it afforded the youth in the Jamaica South Ozone Park area to become a part of something that would teach them how to become teams and social, how we would put it, become socially involved with other kids that would enable other than gang warfare or involved with drugs. I was one of the original and I enjoyed it because we needed it. AlmightyForce was a blessing that it came about. I thank God for both Ryan and Shah, bringing this tournament and all the coaches that got themselves involved with them and helped them. Many of us coaches, for many that don't know, this was volunteer.
Yep, volunteer.
We were not paid to do this.
No,
we volunteered to do this.
Right.
Some of us coaches even paid for some of the kids that we had on our team.
Right.
I know I did it, and
shirts.
I know others that were doing it. I know Don, rest his soul.
Yeah, rest in peace, my man Don.
He definitely did it also. He would bring kids, and we would all be out there, and we thought we was actually the NBA doing it. The way the tournaments would go, we get mad, screaming at each other, ready to fight because we wanted our teams to win.
Yeah.
And we had the kids were so excited. We taught them basketball.
Right.
We taught them the game of basketball at that time, and ended up 40 kids who were just hanging out on the block.
Right.
An opportunity to do something. So I always shout out AlmightyForce tournaments, which actually is still going on even now.
Yeah, still going on now.
All these years, it's still going on, led by none other than the son of Ra Javon Martin Sr.
Yep.
Got to give him a shout out.
Got to give out shout out Javon.
All right. He was one of them.
He was one of the kids.
At the time.
He was one of just like your sons. Yeah. Your son was one of the kids.
All of them was in this tournament. But we never knew, I never knew how it was going to go as we all got older.
Right.
Who was going to step up?
But we were pretty young ourselves.
We were.
Back in,
we still was kind of fit and everything like that.
Hey, look.
Not all this now.
We had this. Look. We might have had fades.
No hair.
We might have had fades.
But it was, like I said, the tournament itself, it was awesome. And like I said, I always commend you and your brother for what you did in the community, because as I said, many of the young people at that time, they come back when they see me and I know when they see you to thank us.
Yeah.
Because it kept them from getting involved in something that led nothing but to jail or death.
Yeah.
That's what it, by us offering that. And then they was able to showcase their talent.
Yeah.
And we know, and many out there in the world, I'm just going to say one name that came out of that tournament that went on to play not only for other teams, but play for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
Lamar Odom.
Right.
Lamar Odom also came out of that tournament also.
Right.
I remember Lamar playing for me when he was 10 years old over there in Rochdale drug-free program.
Okay.
Just before we snatched him and brought him on over there. Because
right.
He was that good. He was looking for tournaments.
Right.
And I went around looking for every kid that I could. And, I would tell them, don't worry about paying. I said, look, I just want you to come and play because I understood what they needed.
Right.
We didn't have tournaments like that when I was coming up.
Right. And then I had Glenn McMillan up here.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So
And yeah.
Miller tournament.
Yeah, the Glim and like, and I was asking him like before him, right? Because he was doing his tournament out there like a few years before we were. But he basically did like adults, and he did the older teenagers. Right. He did like the high school teams and the adults, because other guys like Khalid Reeves, he played in the high school tournament, but no, he wasn't doing like little kids. And when we started the developmental league, we any kid, if you could walk, then we was gonna put you on a team. Right. All right. We didn't care about your skill level. We put you on a team. We worked you out. Yep. That's why I got to give the dedication to the coaches, because we worked you out. Yes, we did. And then put you on the court. Yes. All right. And then from those teams, we would take some of those kids, and then we'd put them in other tournaments throughout the city. So I was talking to Javon, and basically, he's doing basically the same thing. Yes, he even said that when he was on here, basically putting the kids on teams, and then taking the kids, like the better kids, formulating the team, and then going out and competing. Now, we did it throughout the city. Yes, you did. We did it throughout the city. The level that Javon, and shout out to all of the AMF coaches. Yes. All right, shout out, Cam. Yep. Right. He was one of the kids from the D League. Yes, went on to play for Cardoza. Went on to play D1 basketball. Mm-hmm. Other kids like Javar Cheatham, they went on to play D1. Corey Hennett, went on to play D1, and they came right from the D League. And even now, guys like Shane and Nashawn, these kids, like Shane, he made like all city, right? These are kids that started in the D League, right?
Actually, when you talk about Corey and Cam, they actually before that were playing in Cambridge Heights basketball tournament.
Okay.
And because I was one of the coaches over there just before your tournament started.
Okay.
They actually, as little kids, started on over there.
Okay.
And as your tournament started, they started gearing themselves coming over to AlmightyForce, because Cambridge Heights was basically the same, but in Cambridge Heights, they actually had drafts.
Okay.
For the kids would all come and they played at PS 176 in Cambridge Heights.
Okay.
And they would come and their names would be in there, and we would draft the kids that would get there.
Okay.
So they started out because Corey and Cam were some of the best players back then also.
Right.
And then they all I brought some kids from over there, and the rest of them all started coming over to your tournament because it afforded them more opportunities.
Okay.
Cambridge Heights tournament, I think for it, but AlmightyForce afforded these kids more of an opportunity. And how I say that is because AAU coaches were standing outside the gate.
Yeah. Also, a lot of coaches, high school coaches.
Not Ron DeClario was
he was there
to be standing outside or coming.
That's inside. A Cardoza coach.
Definitely known for doing that. So it afforded these kids an opportunity to be seen.
Right.
And that's what I love about AlmightyForce, because had it not been for that, some of these kids probably would have never seen.
Right.
But it afforded them because people. Matter of fact, at Ajax Park, the people were lined up all around the fence.
Right.
And it got where it was almost as many people as Rucker had.
Okay.
Because people showed, not only did you, but y'all had the unlimited league.
Right. We had the unlimited. Right.
JoJo, who was jumping up the backboards and stuff, blocking people's shots. And there were many others.
Right.
Mark,
Right.
And Rodney.
Right. Rodney.
I used to always tell Rodney, I said, Rodney, I don't understand why you ain't in there big.
Right.
I watched guys that came through the tournament. I said, I watched you crack them jokers.
Right.
But you sitting here on the park over here in Ajax, and they're in the league.
Yeah.
You got to explain this to me,
Yeah, Rodney. And then with Rodney Pete won what four-time MVP.
Yes, he was.
Right. He was like a late bloomer, really. He was a late bloomer. Javar.
Yeah.
Javar always had to play up
Right.
with the rest of them.
Right.
So Javar went into high school,
Played at Jamaica High School
as a freshman starting.
Yep.
You know, and you know, he did, you know, he did his thing. He was doing his thing.
You know. He's one of the few that came out of the program. And every time you check to see where he was at,
right,
he was just elevating himself.
Right.
And I thank God for the young men that came out of there, because what it did was it showed what happens as far as your tournament was concerned.
Right.
It showed that the kids that are coming out there actually are learning something.
Right.
And you know, it showed the behavior, because you also check the behavior of young people.
Right. You had to
let them know this is not that party, you know, where you just come and you can do what you want.
Right. And you had to be respectful.
Yeah, there was structure.
You had to be respectful.
Right. And you know, like I said, we had a good time coming out there early. Shaw's out there early, setting up tables and everything. I gotta get out there, you know, try to get my kids a little practice before the game. And knowing Shaw, I had to be out there almost about a little before 8 o'clock to start getting my kids out there, because Shaw out there, okay, once I get the table set up,
we're gonna start.
Yeah, where the refs at, where the team at, we start.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't no you bring your team late. If you brought your team late, you might not have
you might get a forfeit.
That's what I'm saying. You ain't gonna have no game.
I think I got a shout out my man John.
Yeah.
He was out there, my man Zoe. You know, they was you know, it was definitely a lot of dedication.
Yep.
You know, from and like I said, we were relatively young men.
Yeah.
You know, we was relatively young men. You know, we had a way for young people doing the book to get paid. We cleared that up with the referees. That part of their fee would go to the person, because you can't do a game without somebody doing the book, without somebody doing the book, or somebody keeping the score.
Yeah.
So we definitely, we had a good thing going on.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like the most, that when I go up the 226, some of the kids that was in the D League when we were doing it, you know, they bring in their kids now. They're bringing their kids. You know, like I don't know if you remember Ramel Wittenberg.
Yep.
He was like, yeah, man, I was telling my son used to be my coach when I was playing in D League. You know, Corey.
I had Raheem over there at 155 when man was trying to get the tournament. I had him over there. Sherm.
Sherm. We lost Sherm.
We want to always remember Sherm. We always want to remember Sherm. And you know, and his what he did in the tournaments also. We always want to remember that.
Rodney on the check-in.
Yeah. All right, Rod. I still say you should have been in the NBA, not only over there in AJ Park on the bench. You know, like I said.
Rodney didn't play in the D League. Yeah, you're too old. Man, our old men in the D League was Kyson and Javar. It's CW. Remember CW? It was crazy stuff.
Yeah, look.
You know,
like I said, it was just so many, and to see where a lot of them at today. And as you said, they're bringing their kids.
Right.
And that's a testimony to what your tournament did. That they're bringing their kids, and we, you know, as long as it continue on, they'll be bringing their kids and stuff like that. You know, because who knows that when Javon time comes, who's going to step? It might be another Martin. Step up.
Right.
Because, you know, I believe in legacy.
Okay.
Myself, I do believe in legacy, and this tournament is actually the legacy of the Martins.
Okay, thank you.
I definitely want to make sure I say that.
Thank you.
You know, everybody wants to try to grab credit on where, you know, things are happening. Let's give credit where credit is due. Yeah. I'm here to give you your flowers while you can smell them.
Thank you.
Did, because this actually is a Martin tournament. Your son is now running it. That's a Martin.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see which one of the Martins is gonna rise next. That's gonna take it to the next level.
Yeah, I was talking to my daughter about it. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. This is not a gender thing. Yeah, she can get it too. She can come on and take it too. You know, but I had history as far as the Martin family, because when we talk, and I'll talk about a lady that I met, I think back in '82, who used to always bring kids to the food program at PS 155.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Askew.
Miss Askew, my mother-in-law.
Yes.
My
Yes.
mother-in-law. Rest in
Yes.
peace, Miss Askew.
Yes.
And the Askew dances.
Yes, and the Askew dances.
All right.
You
Shout
know.
out to my wife, Robin. Let me just say this. Congratulations to my wife, Robin. Yesterday was her last day of work
All right.
for the city of New York.
Uh-oh.
All right. So congratulations to Robin.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna see how the other side is doing it right now.
That's it.
You know?
That's it.
You know, but Rodney said that he didn't play in the D League, but he was doing the books.
Yeah,
Rodney, he was out there. He was out there. Him and Alonzo.
Yeah.
Him and Alonzo.
Yeah,
you know, Jamel Patterson.
Yeah, all like I said, so many
No.
that have done some great things and still doing, things like,
Right.
It wasn't a tournament just, for kids who excel.
Right.
You took developmental kids who didn't know the game.
And we took any kids, right?
Any kid that
any kids, we got close to all the kids. We from down by Sufton.
Yeah.
All right. We got, anybody could come. And then we took them and we put them in other things.
Yes.
And in the beginning, we was getting our butts whipped a lot of times, putting up, going up against those programs like Aim High and the Gauchos and the Riverside Church and a lot of kids from our neighborhood were playing with them, So I always give Javar, his credit because him and Linnell and Rala and all of them, they came up through the program and they stayed with us. And then by the time they were seniors in high school, we had beaten everybody. We had beaten everybody so much till Lamar came and played with us in a few things. You get what I'm saying? So we definitely, and it was a great feeling back then. So to see it being continued, like you said, to see it being continued and to see that some of the kids that is they like all city.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And the ones that's not all city, all over the city of New York, Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, there's kids that started in the AMF basketball that are representing their schools. Even like my nephew Shy, Little Shy. I mean, he was like one of the top players out here.
He's Little Shy. He
ain't Little Shy no more.
He's Little Shy. And he's still out there trying to do it on the court.
He's doing it.
40 years old, he's still out there.
He's still doing it. He's still doing it. So we gonna continue.
Yeah.
We're gonna continue talking. Because we got, but we want to just show a video. I picked this video, because you was coming, and I know that I know that you be preaching and stuff, and our spiritual advisor and our family we lost last year, so we just want to show something that he did, and then we're gonna continue the conversation. All right. Check this out.
My protection. My all
Yeah, we're back. You know, that was my older brother that we lost last May 1st. You know, so this, like, whenever I put YouTube on, this kept coming up in my timeline. So this is something, and then I knew I had Bishop coming today. So this is something that I wanted to share, with everybody, and that was our older brother. That was our spiritual advisor in our family, So you know. So
I know
let me
it's
try
kind
to
of-
get back.
I know it's kind of emotional, especially, you know,
Get back to
when,
this.
when you're actually looking at this, you know, and singing, you know, and as you said, this was one of the songs that was sung at his homegoing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that song there is really important to a lot of people, especially that are going through. I remember last year when things didn't look that good. That was one of the songs that, as I was saying to you, that helped me. You know, when the times got real low. You know, when doctors was telling me that, you know, they didn't know really what to do. When I broke out in blisters all over my body like Job, I had Job experience.
Mm.
I had 10 doctors at Duke Hospital. Now, Duke Hospital is supposed to be one of the #1 teaching hospitals in the country. 10 doctors ran into the room and said that we've heard of this condition, but we've never seen it. And I'm looking at it and going, what do you mean you've never seen it? How, you know, when you hear this, it just messes with your psyche. And songs such as that helped encourage you because it reminded you that God is your all in all. You know, for your brother to be your spiritual advisor and for y'all to have knowledge that him as a spiritual advisor, he brought God into the family.
Mm-hmm.
That was his job, you know, and when his job was finished, God called him home. And I always say this to family, especially when I do funerals. I say, if you ask your loved one, would they come back? They would tell you no.
Mm-hmm.
Said because the life that they have now is not of pain or sorrow or anything like that. It's of peace because they with the Father. To be absent from the body is to be present with God. So just to say it, encourage you because I know, you know, like I said, and I can see also how it affects you. Just to let you know, your brother's all right.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to worry about it. He sung his eulogy right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, he sung his eulogy. So I say that to you and to the family. Be encouraged. Because you know what? Be the next spiritual advisor in the family. You know, somebody got to fill his
Somebody got to
position.
fill it, right?
You know, God don't leave positions empty, and you don't have to be a preacher to fill that position. Let me say that.
Okay.
All you got to do is just be the ones that introduce people to God, as I do.
Okay.
Wherever I go, I introduce people. I tell them what I've been through in my life, but I tell them where I'm at now.
So you're surprising me. Well, you surprised me tonight.
Yes.
Because some of the things that you said that you've been through,
yes,
you know, I wasn't even aware.
Yeah.
And this is like, and you know, we spent a lot of time together.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Right. We spent a lot of time. I haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I haven't seen you since my nephew was playing, you know, for West Hempstead.
Yeah.
And I saw you over by Malvern High School.
That's it. Yeah.
Out here in Long Island. That's why when I first started reaching out to you to come on the show, I was like, yo, so you got to be there at 7:45.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, man, you know I live.
I'm in North Carolina. No, but I can't because my appointment with the doctor is next week. I really was only planning on coming next week. But, you know, because of how you had reached out to me before, it was important for me to be here because this gave an opportunity for me to shout y'all out, you know, for what
appreciate you,
you know, during this time, because I still talk about it.
Okay.
I still talk about what was done during the time when AlmightyForce was out there and how I watched Javon, somebody that I know as a kid going through the program, how he's excelling.
Right.
With AlmightyForce, and he's taking it to where he's getting awards from everybody. You know,
because you had mentioned that you were over the Guardians, right?
I was second vice chair for the Grand Council Guardians.
Yeah, and then the Guardians gave him an award last year.
Yeah.
You know, for the work that he do with the AlmightyForce Basketball program.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's one thing. That's one thing I have to give kudos to law enforcement.
Yeah.
Because you know, I worked for the city too. You know, and you know, it wasn't support like that.
Right.
You know, they was more looking to see if you was trying to get some kind of financial gain for what you was doing. Where, you know, like brothers like us, we was putting out more money than we was collecting.
And if you remember, I think it was around 97, 98, I actually brought a team representing the Guardian Knights.
Okay,
that's what they was called at that time.
I think I remember that. I remember that team. I remember.
High school level.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Them over
like the junior level.
Yes, I had spoke with the chairman Charles Billups and some of the other presidents, letting them know what I was doing.
Okay,
you know, and actually they was funded.
Okay,
by the Guardians.
That's great.
So I just want to, I
That's
definitely want to
great.
give the Grand Council a shout out, because the Grand
Okay.
Council did not overlook kids. They wanted to make sure they're law enforcement, but they also have outreach in the communities to help some of the young the kids in our community. So I want to give them a shout out also.
Okay. Appreciate that.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
As a coach, right?
Yeah.
How many teams did you have as a coach? Like, how many different teams did you have? And what was your favorite team? What was
favorite team? I really didn't have a favorite team.
That's crazy,
I
right?
didn't have one.
That's crazy.
Because all of the kids,
all of the teams, even the teams that I was losing with, they were important to me.
It wasn't. With me, it wasn't about a favorite team. It was to make sure that kids were involved with the program.
Yeah,
right.
Because a lot of people don't know. Like one time, I like some of the kids who we was coaching, you don't know some of the things that they were into before we started coaching them.
Yeah.
Like one time, one of the kids that I was coaching, I was bringing them back from another tournament, and I was talking about because some guys tried to steal my car up there by Archer and Sufton, and the way they had, they was able to get the club off. And they was I think they was trying to take the tires.
Yeah.
And this kid, he was able to tell me, exactly how they did it.
Yeah.
And the only way you could tell me exactly what they was doing is if you was doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this kid at that time, he was only 15.
Mm-hmm.
He was only 15. So the magnitude of what we was doing,
it was necessary.
It was because a lot of kids was doing some crazy stuff, man.
And that's why I said it was important that this program went on, because of what they were getting themselves involved in. You got to remember, in the beginning of the crack era, kids who didn't have money and their families that had money, they were out there on the streets. They was one standing out there at 13, 14, 15, selling drugs. They'll be out in front of the store, because back then the law is when they got arrested, they really wasn't getting no time.
Yeah.
So and the reason they were out there, because really was nothing for them to do, nothing productive. As a kid, when I was coming up, they had some boys clubs and different things like that.
Like community centers.
Yeah, community centers.
Yeah.
But when the 80s came, there wasn't that,
Right.
But there was the drug era, and they knew they could make some quick money, but they didn't understand the ramifications of making quick money.
Right.
You get quick money, but you're gonna get quick time also,
or worse,
or even worse.
So like one of the things I ask people that come on here, and I get different feedback, from different people.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, like a few, like, well, I ain't gonna talk about nobody, but some people take offense to it.
Yeah.
All right. But why? But back then, we knew why. You just broke down why some kids went left back then. All right, because it wasn't a lot of things. It wasn't a lot of people doing what we started doing.
That's it.
But now with all these different programs, you got my son.
Yeah.
You got Cat.
Yeah.
Over by Rochester. You got so many different programs right now. Right. So why do we think kids are still going left now?
Because there's really not many people reaching out. That's what it is. It's not. This is your program was not a program that we just waited for the kids. We went and got the kids and brought them, and that's the problem now, because there's really no outreach when it comes to program. We expected, and people expecting now that the name of the program is just going to draw. That's not always true. You got to represent the tournament by going out in the communities. That's what the coaches did back then. We would go through the blocks and go up the Rockaway.
Everybody. Yeah,
and we would go get the kids and bring them to the program.
Especially, because one of the main reasons for doing it was to make sure that we got to know.
That's it.
The kids in the neighborhood.
That's why we did it. Rodney talking about he was driving the junior high school 210.
You were driving back then, Rodney. You were driving the middle school ride. Wow.
Man.
Wow,
You
man.
know, but like I said, all those kids in that area knew about the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And they grew up on a tournament. Yes, we wasn't able to rescue everybody. You're not gonna be able to get everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
But the majority of the kids were saved from a life of crime.
Right.
And if they took what was taught in the tournament, they were able to take that to their job wherever it was.
Yeah.
Because it taught them teamwork, how to work with each
other. Yeah, how to interact with people.
Yeah, it taught them that.
Yeah.
You know?
How to be and you know, in Queens.
Yes.
In Queens, because it was something different going on when we started doing the tournament in Brooklyn. But in Queens, people were able to go to other neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And because you played basketball, you knew that kid from the other neighborhood, you know, because their team might have came over to our neighborhood, over to our area. So it expanded not just from where we were living, but it expanded definitely throughout Queens, not, you know, what they call North Side now, right? Out into Far Rockaway. We had a lot of Far Rockaway teams and Far Rockaway kids that came over to take part in what we were doing.
And you know, a lot of people don't know the tournament got so as far as the community is concerned, its name reached out. Y'all was actually playing 3 games at the same time on all 3 courts. That's how many kids actually you were able to not just in the 8 o'clock moment, but 10 o'clock and later. If all the courts was going on, that shows how many kids was actually coming to the program. You know, and that's not easy.
It was busy
to do when you have.
It was a full-time job. It was a full-time job because when we wasn't doing that, we had to do the whole thing like with the permit and with the shirts and with the awards and we were sponsoring teams. That's it. Putting teams in other people's tournaments, you know. So it was that. But if I had to do it all over again, I'll do it all over again.
Right back out there again.
Right. If I that's one thing that I never, you know, even like, you know, when the nonsense came to us, you get what I'm saying? I would never, you know, like not do it. And you know, I stepped down and then you know, what people probably don't know, Shy did it, you know, for a few years. And then Javon, you know, after that, Javon did it, and then he's been doing it ever since. You know, doing a great job at it.
Great job, you know.
And you already did this for me. All right. But I want you to do it for anybody out there that's listening. You know, hey Kadea, you know, happy birthday, Kadea and Bashira. All right. You know, that's why I missed your show the other night. We had a birthday dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, you know. So happy birthday. All right. You know.
I haven't seen you on Facebook in a little bit there. With your disrespectful self on Facebook.
she ain't so much disrespectful no more. She turned 50.
Look, she used to have me and my wife cracking up with some of the stuff that she said, hey, what's wrong with her and stuff like that. Because she was look, if you didn't come correct, she was gonna let you know.
Yeah.
She was gonna let you know. Still love
you. Know, I wasn't on Facebook back then because I only got on Facebook last year.
Look, did you miss some of the stuff that she had?
All right. Shout out to my daughter Jate on the check-in. All right. That's what I was talking about because if Javon was gonna step down, who I think should take it over, but you know. You gotta convince her, right?
Look,
if you hear it from the bishop, you hear it from the bishop. All right.
It's a great opportunity, and what you do, see this opportunity here by running this, it gets to show other people out there your skill as an executive. So it can take you to different places. And see, people always want to see what you're doing in community work, especially folks with money. They want to know first. They want to know what do you do in your community. This here. Right here, because the research of this is strong itself. The history of this program is strong itself. So if you're leading this program, I have to say anymore.
You heard?
So, girl, get yourself ready. Get yourself ready. I'm looking for a female that's gonna be in charge.
We got two. We got two. We got two that could be in charge.
There you go.
All right. Like I said, you already did it for me.
Yes.
You know, but we like, you know, to give out words of encouragement.
Yeah.
For anybody that's tuning in.
Yeah. Well, I came here today specifically for that. Not only to give Ron Shaw their flowers along with Jay Vaughn, but to all those that are out there that were a part of the tournament that had, whether they played, whether they coached, whether they refereed, whether they kept score. I just want to commend all y'all and thank you for the hard work that you took time to do for the tournament at that time. And I just want to encourage anybody that is out there, if you have your children that are looking for somewhere to be at that's a very constructive and a good tournament, AlmightyForce is still out there.
Yep, 121 Rockaway Boulevard.
It's still out there.
121, middle school 226.
Yeah, get your kids involved. It's a great tournament for them to be involved in. You know, as I said, this program has been around since 1991. That tells you in yourself the history. With it being around that long. And like I said, I'm still a part of AlmightyForce. Once you become family in AlmightyForce,
exactly,
for life.
Yep.
You know, so you know, like I said, I just thank God and as a preacher, as a bishop in the Lord's church, I just want to encourage people because we're in dark times. You know,
yes.
Everybody's talking about the last days. Let's forget about the last days. Forget about today. We have a man that's sitting in the White House that's trying to run us out of the country. And let me explain something to y'all. If you do your own research, the Israel that they're talking about that we're fighting for is not the true Israel. Understand that the tribes of Israel was not from Caucasus, the island of Caucasus, all right? They were black, right? And that's history. Read your Bible. Your Bible tells you Jesus was a man of color. He was not a man that was, you know, and I don't want to be racist because I'm not, but they've always tried to steal our history and everything that we've done. If you look at everything that we as a people have done in this country, that cell phone that y'all are using every day, that was somebody black. The lights, his name was not Edison. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get a lot of things straight. There were a lot of things that were made by black people.
GPS.
Mm-hmm.
You had a man took a peanut, and we got peanut butter and a whole lot of other things, and he did toothpaste and other things also. Our history is rich. Let us continue to stand with each other, not fight with each other. Let us come together in the community, and when we stand in the community, nobody can push us around. This man is actually trying to take your right to vote.
Yep.
You must vote this November. You must vote. If you don't vote, that's a vote for him.
Right.
And I just want for all my brothers who have supported him, understand you get what you ask for. people ask me, what do you think about it? Yep. I said, well, I guess they didn't check his resume like they check ours.
Right.
Because his resume is 34 convictions. His race is, and if you look at his family, you get to see they don't care about nobody black works for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at his
except for that dude, what was his name, Green or something like that?
Yeah, he had the doctor that was with him. But he's not there now. You look at his cabinet now.
Yeah, because even if you chose to support him before, it is what it is.
Yeah.
If you don't see it, then you're blind. And even Stevie Wonder see it. All right,
it's like I said,
blind.
Yeah,
I'm going to say y'all are blind. Yo, you know what? It sickens me that he even got a following like the way he has this following. Mm-hmm. He's trying to become a dictator.
That's what
he's working on being a dictator. Mm-hmm. He got innocent people going over there to fight for his greed.
That's what
over there in
Iran.
Is. That's all it is. It's for the greed. I can't stand this man. It's crazy.
You know, like I said, I told people, I said, look, because the first thing they said, well, you're a Democrat. I said, see, you don't know me. I said, I vote for who's the best candidate. Mm-hmm. I'm independent on what I'm going to vote for. But when I see a candidate who openly has been, as they say, he's a predator. Mm-hmm. He showed that because all you got to do is go back to the videos of Miss America pageant. Mm-hmm. You go back there. Jeffrey Epstein, there's so many pictures of him with Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't say you didn't know what Jeffrey was doing if you was there at the time.
Yeah.
You know, everybody talks about Puff, but we put Puff down, but we puffed this man up. Something wrong there. Now I'm not saying that Puff, was not guilty of the things he did. He admitted to what he did, but this man here
convicted of 34 crimes.
My thing is everybody put Puff down.
Yeah.
They talk about it and stuff, the baby all in on. This man is worse.
Yeah.
But yet y'all made him president.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, can I just met you today.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to tell you, you inspired me. Right. But you inspired me in a lot of ways and stuff. Can I tell him what you went through?
Sure.
And all right, he went through a kidney transplant. And if y'all know me, I'm going through dialysis right now. And what he talk about and everything he says about it, I've been through it. And I relate to you and everything like that. When people's going through something like such as what you went through,
right? And
you said you was at your lowest point,
yes,
right? What was it that got you out of that lowest point? What was the thing that you went to that got you out of that lowest point?
I went to God. I tell people, they always ask me, how'd you make it? I went to God. It wasn't just about church. It was God. I needed to have the one-on-one with him.
Right.
And I say this to everybody that's going through something. If you want to know him, you got to have that one-on-one. Don't just let people preach to you about him. Get to know him for yourself. In your lowest moment, if you believe, the Bible says in Hebrews 11:1, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. By it, the elders obtain a good report. What is it saying? That my healing is the evidence, because doctors have said that they can't believe that I'm still living, with all I've been. This is what doctors said. One of the first things I did was, as the Bible says, the elders had to come and give a report. I went to the church so the elders could see me and give proof that this is what happens to me. The eyewitnesses, everybody that knew what I was going through, that seen me, they see me now. The weight loss of that, I went from a 42, I'm down to 38 in 1 year. In 1 year, it's because when I got the new kidney, it started working right away. In the midst of all that, I'm preaching to the doctors that are working on me. People got to understand, and I understand people believe in different things, but understand all faith comes from one man. Whether you're Muslim, whether you're Judaism or Christian, everything comes from one man, Abraham. We are all descendants of Abraham. So all the bickering, there's no need. Because when you talk about Allah, Allah is God. When they talk about Jehovah, it's God. We call him Jesus Christ. Same person. So all the arguing is not necessary if you study your history. We have such a rich history. And when we come together as brothers and sisters, when our brother and sister, like he's saying, what he's going through, and we stand with him and encourage him, not just look at him with sick, oh man, I'm sorry you're sick. No, encourage him. You can make it. I say that to him now. You can make it. If I'm sitting here with a brand new kidney and I'm doing good, you can do the same thing.
Absolutely. I plan on to.
Yeah.
Trust me, I plan on to.
Yeah. Like I said, people, we have a lot of people that right now are suffering, with their kidneys. Understand, you can reverse it if you catch it in time.
Facts.
You can reverse it. Doctors want to give you all the medicines. Understand, our ancestors use herbal medicines. Start looking into some of the herbal remedies that are out there that'll help you. Get off the sugar and all McDonald's and all of them. You got to get off that.
Right.
At what time I live to eat. Now I eat to live. I switched that up.
That's where I'm at right now.
I drink more water now. Juice. I don't drink all that sweet tea and all that stuff. I left all
I
that
don't
alone.
I can't even think of the last time I drank a soda.
Yeah, I left all that alone. Last year around this time, I was already preparing my eulogy for my kids. I hadn't even said nothing to my wife, but I talked to my kids. And what got me was when my daughter said, "Daddy, you can't die." And it got me emotional. And, it makes you come to realization that you have people that need you. And from there on, I picked myself up and I said, I'm going to live. You know, this is not going to take me out. And it's like I said, wherever I go, especially when I'm in North Carolina, a lot of the preachers that see me, they can't believe that last year I was on the cane. I was riding them little scooters and everything. I was bending over. I looked horrible. And when they see me walking down, they like, oh my God. Because as I said, when you have that faith and that trust in God, you can survive. But when you get to that dark place, you can't give up.
Right.
And I said it to anybody that's on here now that's going through sickness and everything. Don't give up. Don't give up. You trust God, and God he's going to prove himself to you. That's the thing. See, that's what I tell people. If you go there, I guarantee he'll prove himself to you. Don't just hear my words. I've been doing this a long time. And I have prophesied to many people. And they've always come back and said, man, the words you spoke to me actually came to pass. And I take no credit for that. I said, when God gives me to speak, I speak. And the thing is, I'm not one of the prophets, P-R-O-F-I-T. I'm a prophet. Right. That's what I am. I speak God's language. I speak what God tells me to do. That's what I do. And that's why I speak to you, and I speak to both of y'all. This thing that y'all have created back in 91 will continue on, I believe, for another 50 years. People will be talking about you. Plaques will be up talking about what you and your brother has done. You know, there's gonna be streets that's gonna be named after y'all because of the tournament that y'all have brought, and all the young people who have, you know, gone through the program. I speak that now because I know somebody out there right now has been thinking about it. But I'm speaking life into that. And into you, I'm speaking life as far as what you need. Right. That kidney. I'm believing that kidney is gonna come your way. And I want to speak on behalf of you right now. Anybody out there, I know there's many people out there right now that would love to donate a kidney to a worthy person. His brother right here, what he's doing and what he's been through. You know, if you know somebody who wants to donate a kidney, because it can happen. Right. They can donate strictly to you. And I'm going to speak this up. I don't know if he has put it out there on Facebook, what he's going through and everything.
Well, I put it out there. Everybody knows. I'm transparent like
okay.
That, you know what I mean?
So I'm speaking now for him also.
So people are asking where they can find you on social media.
Oh, go to Michael Waldo. Go to my page. You can find
say it one more time.
Yeah, Michael Waldo.
Michael Waldo
Senior. You see me. I'm gonna have bishop shirt on and everything, standing with my wife. Oh, also before I go, I just want to say this. I gotta give the shout out to my ride or die.
Okay.
My boo for 44 years.
Okay.
Who stand by me. The Bible lets us know that when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. That's my favor.
Okay.
She's my favorite, just like your wife is your favorite.
Yep.
You know, where it's for guys that have not been married, understand you get the right woman, you're gonna be all right.
Facts.
Yeah. But Mike, thank you, man.
You're welcome, man.
No, I really enjoyed this, man. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying let me know when you're coming this way.
Definitely.
All right. You know, we gonna stay in touch better.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to thank everybody that tuned in. Peace, everybody. AMF Show every Thursday. AMF Show every Thursday night. Check us out, 8 to 9.
Get it.
Wanna thank y'all for tuning in. Love y'all, tune in again. Like Steels be saying, tell a friend to tell a friend to tune in to the Legend Edition.
I'm singing for playing most supreme right here. 6 feet, still can beat the whole damn dream team. With power, I devour any man in my